Welcome to the Delvin Cox Experience, the podcast in which each week I'm on a one-man mission to unite our culture through diversity. I'm your host, Delvin Cox, and with me this week on the podcast, let them know who you are, brother.
Oh, I want you to say it. Who am I? Who am I? Beady Pop, motherfucker. Hey, everybody. I am the one known as that motherfucker, Jodie B. You had B-Rob on recently, so I believe it was talked about. So I'm not blowing my own horn. I am that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's how B-Rob refers to you as.
Yeah. Well, look, the thing is, I'm going to get it out early. Guys, I say foul words. And I've noticed you've had a few of my friends on recently, and they've kind of broken down some of the walls, because I believe you used to be a PG-13 show, Delvin Cox.
I still try to be, but everybody else does it, so what can I do?
This is what I'm going to say to you, because these other heathen friends of mine, they got no respect. They got no couth. So I'm going to try to curb it a little. I want you to know this evening, this is going to be me trying.
Okay. That is good to know.
But they're going to be in there. So guys, right up front, hi, I'm the host of the Po Boys podcast. I enjoy talking to people on the internet, mostly strangers. And, I enjoy interacting with people. I've done it for a long time, and it's something that actually makes me very happy. So that's what I do. I drift around and I talk to random strangers on the internet.
That's a good way to describe it. Now, before we start, as always, we start off with the 5 for 5. 5 questions, 5 answers to get the ball rolling. Jody, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Question number 1. What's the best album you listened to in the past year, and it doesn't have to be new?
Oh, Lord. Okay. Is that whole album, though? Like, it's just the one you put on and let it play through? Because I got a couple. That's what I'm trying to
yeah, that works. That's perfect. That's actually what the question was meant for.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm a huge Chris Cornell fan, right?
Okay.
I believe he was one of the best vocal singer people of all time. Most notable voice, fight me. The Audio Slave album. Now, this was when he joined up with Rage Against the Machine, and they had their lead singer leave, and now he's the lead singer. That whole album is just bangers, man, and it plays really well. So I know for a fact I drive a lot, drive a truck during the daytime. So for sure, I've listened to that album through probably 3 or 4 times this year, and it's one of my favorites. So yeah.
I have an interesting story about Chris Cornell, because I didn't know who he was at all until after he passed, right?
Oh man, like you didn't know, like connect the person with the songs, you had heard it, or like you really
it gets even better.
Okay, go ahead.
So like, damn, that sucks. I want to hear. I didn't like catch on to I want to hear some of his music. So I go on my phone. I'm going to go start downloading some of his songs and stuff and go check it out. But I go into because I have an iPhone. I go into my search history and type in Chris Cornell. Because, sometimes they give you albums you can buy and stuff like that. And I just happen to have a song. And it's the song from, I think it's is it Skyfall or one of the Bond movies? I think it was Skyfall.
It's the song called You Know My Name.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that song. I never knew it was him. I literally listened to that song all the time. Didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
For years. I guess since that movie, I listened to that song forever. And loved the song and didn't realize who it was him. Fantastic song, by the way. One of my favorite Bond songs. Yeah,
rock god, vocal legend. I mean, he's as notable as I just went blank.
Kurt Cobain.
Well, Kurt, I was gonna go a little more like the vocal range. Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. He's that Ozzy Osbourne. Like he's that kind of a vocal person. Like it as soon as you hear a note, you're like, that's Chris Cornell.
I said Kurt because the same type of tragedy.
It is. Yeah, it's a sad story, and they've all kind of burnt out, man. Like this is, I bet Eddie Vedder just sits in his house sometimes drinking red wine out of the bottle and humming to himself and just like, man, they're all gone, dude.
Yeah,
all his boys, like for real. You know how you take a graduation picture and like 20 years later, how many people aren't going to be there? Like his shit is blank.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
it. He's the only fucking guy left out of that whole grunge era. That's crazy, man.
That is really crazy, to say the least. Question number 2. If you can have the powers of any superhero with their weaknesses, who would it be?
I don't do a lot of superhero shit, so I'm just trying to skim the thing here and see kind of yeah. Uh, I think it
What?
would be cool to be stretchy, like Mr. Fantastic.
Okay,
You
that's a
know,
good one.
or Mr. I'll be Inspector Gadget. I don't give a shit, but like to be able to be like yeah, and then reach across the house to grab some shit, and I ain't gotta get off the couch. I think that'd be pretty cool. You know.
Yeah, that's a really good power, actually.
The
But
drawback is I get tied up in a lot of stuff. Sometimes, I try to reach out the window and slap somebody on the ass when I'm driving by, like with that whiplash effect, and my shit gets wrapped around a tree, and then I crash into a building. Like that's no good. But it's stretchy. It's good.
yeah, that's a good answer. I like that answer. Question number 3, and this is everybody's favorite question. I'm quite sure you have a lot of answers for this one.
All right.
What's the dumbest thing you've done as a kid?
Oh man. Okay. Uh, most of them have police involved. I would think.
Okay.
One time, me and a few of my friends, we were sitting out in front of a drug dealer's house, right?
That always is a good sign.
Yeah. Not like a kingpin or anything, but like a low level guy. I believe it was one of my buddy's uncles or some shit. So he was inside. We stayed outside of the trucks. Now, this is in the small town that I live in. We're notorious for our police officers. Like they ride deep, and there's a bunch of them. So 3 or 4 cops will pull you over for a speeding ticket. It's crazy. So we're sitting out in front of the house, and you remember that song "Grinding"? I think
Yes, the clips.
right. We were all new kids driving, being silly. I'm sitting in my truck and I start beeping the horn to grinding. You know what I'm saying? Kind of tapping. Da, 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 da. It's a one-way dead-end street, right?
Yes.
We're about halfway down it, looking up the street, headed out. So we're sitting there, both sitting, hitting, grinding on the horn. And dog, I saw like 4 sets of headlights come onto the street at once. You know what I'm saying? Like just one after you see them on the street, one car turn, the next car, and there's 2 more coming right behind. I was like, that doesn't look good. And police. And it was one of those moments where you're sitting there, like exactly what's going on inside. Probably you know the town, you knew better. And luckily, we were just kids bullshit, and they showed up and they were just like, y'all need to get out of here. And we were like, okay. And we just left our friend there. We were like, we're just playing shit. My bad. And we left. So nobody got arrested that night. No charges, no nothing. And it was good. But man, that shit'll pucker you up.
I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah.
I have to ask it.
What?
How many black people was in the car?
None. Actually, well, you know what? We had one black guy. Yeah, well, Billy.
That motherfucker is lucky as hell.
Yeah, no, it was crazy because
Yeah.
he was. See, a lot of the time, we had a lot of brothers that hung out in the circle, but when we would be out doing goofy shit, like they usually would just excuse themselves. So
Yeah,
it's cool.
They're smart because white privilege and black privilege don't work the same way.
Hey, let me tell you a story. One time, this is my buddy Crazy Tony. Now, Crazy Tony, he came from, dude, I don't even remember where he came. Maybe Houston, Austin. I think he came from Texas. But Crazy Tony was big, like not like fat, but just he looked like Anthony Rumble Johnson in the fucking 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? Crazy Tony was notorious for doing crazy stuff. Like we played football, he was a linebacker. He would bite people in the huddle and shit. But or on like a dog pile, they pile up. He would literally bite people. He would grab their dick and stuff. He was a bad dude. And so one day we're in traffic, right? Crazy Tony sitting shotgun. I'm in the back seat. My buddy's driving. We're sitting at a red light. And it's taking a minute. This is midday traffic. You know what I'm saying? There's people everywhere and shit. So we're moving up a little, stopping, and he's getting pissed. He said, "Man, this is nuts! Like, why are we sitting here in this traffic?" Da da da. And we were like, "Do something stupid." He was like, all right." This dude opened the door. He got out, so we're in the left lane. So he's standing in the middle of traffic now. He pulls his shorts all the way down to his ankles. Then he does he whips his dick from side to side. And then he starts doing jumping jacks. So he takes one foot out of his shorts. God. Then he starts doing jumping like Crazy Tony had a piece on him too. So it's just like he's doing the jumping jacks. And it's just like belly button taint. Belly button taint. His shit is slapping. He did like 10 of them. And then he jumped back in the car and we laughed. I mean, that's some small town shit. You couldn't do that. It's like he would have been shot in fucking Dallas. Like that's not how shit works.
Yeah, facts. Question number 4, and I think this is an interesting one. If you can pick 4 people, anybody you want to pick to play a game of poker with, anybody, living, dead, whatever.
Oh man,
who are you playing poker with?
Okay. So, I like poker. Back in the day, I think when the boom hit, I was just as much wrapped up in it as everybody else. There's some pros that I think would be cool to meet, like this dude Daniel Negreanu. I think he'd be pretty cool.
Okay. That's one.
That's just like I'm gonna get at least one poker, like a cool dude that I think I can sit there and bullshit with and actually play cards for a minute.
Okay.
But let's see. Oh shit, man, this is crazy. John Goodman, for sure. Okay. John Goodman got to be there.
That's a good choice.
It's gonna be baller. Yeah. I'm gonna take another husky fat man. I'm gonna take John Candy.
That's a really good choice.
Yeah. So
that's 3.
John Goodman, John Candy, Daniel Negreanu. Okay. Let's see. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's gonna be there.
Okay, that's 4. That's good choices.
I got a bunch of fat bald guys, kind of. Well,
Stone Cold's not fat.
No. I'll tell you something else. Oh shit, Martha Stewart. I'm gonna have Martha Stewart there.
Okay, I'll let Martha Stewart hop in the party. That's fine, but I'll let you get that Martha Stewart off on that.
Yeah. She can referee.
Cool.
Daniel Negreanu doesn't have to play. He could just hang out with me. He could be my assistant.
I like that. I like that a lot. Question number 5. Zombie apocalypse happens. Walking Dead style.
Oh.
You have to leave the city, of course, and stuff like that. You're going to take 5 things with you. Your family or your pets don't count. You're automatically going to hop in the car. What are you taking? Let me make this clear because people think inside the box too much. Anything you want to take. It doesn't have to necessarily be something in your house right now.
Man, I think I'm gonna go way left on this one because there's a lot of zombie shit. You know what? I heard B-Rob's answer, knife on a stick or whatever the fuck. Yeah, a machete seems like a very practical item. So if I'm actually packing for an apocalypse, I'm gonna have a machete.
You're not gonna pick Army's answer, a cat? So
No, because I'm not fucking a cat. That's not my style. You know what I'm saying? I said something earlier about if your wife died in the apocalypse. I mean, wouldn't you just maybe pull her teeth out? Just keep her around for a little while. I mean, be all right. Just keep some Vaseline. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. It's hot. It's sweaty here. Anyway, no cats. So I'm gonna take a machete for sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a kilo of cocaine. Okay.
A kilo? You gonna become a drug dealer in the apocalypse?
No. That's all for me.
Okay.
So
good answer then.
Look, no, this is the plan. Cause see, everybody likes to pretend that they're fucking Rambo or Rick Grimes, and the situation of an apocalypse is all of a sudden these motherfuckers. Look, if something's chasing me, I might make it 2 blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, you motherfuckers are out of shape and you eat cheeseburgers and you ain't running from shit. Randall Fowler, he's a giant man. He works out every day. He's huge. He's not running 3 fucking miles if zombies are chasing him. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people that come up with these elaborate ass plans. Fuck you. I'm taking a machete, a kilo of cocaine. I'm going to take, let's see. I'm going to take a shitload of peanut butter because that'll get you for a while, right?
Okay, yeah.
Got to have that for sure. I'm going to take a large dose of that DMT drug. You know what that is? That shit Joe Rogan talks about, where you go and meet the aliens and all that shit.
Oh, that the drug he's always talking about, the
Yeah,
hallucinant.
yeah. So I'm gonna take that, and maybe like a cyanide capsule or something like that. Maybe like a shitload of Ambien. I don't know. Like, so when it all boils down to is this was gonna happen is eventually everybody's gonna get killed probably. And it's
Yes.
gonna be me. I'm gonna be wired on cocaine out of my mind. And eventually I'm gonna get tired of running. And I feel like, because I'm not a very spiritual person, I don't really necessarily get into religion and stuff like that. I think we're just here for the ride. I think if there is anything to that DMT shit that people talk about, my plan is to take a cyanide capsule and then take a shitload of DMT. And then I'm going to go on the fucking Spirit Quest journey and then hopefully not come back from it. And that's El Fiend for the zombie apocalypse situation, sir.
That is morbid.
Hey, man, look, I've seen the show. It can't be better than the show. So I'm assuming it's going to be worse.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely correct. It's not
I'm
gonna.
just saying, like it's a complete. Everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face. Mike Tyson.
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Until you're getting chased down by zombie hordes and your kids are turning into zombies and they bite you on the arm because you're too scared to plug them in the fucking head, you'll go crazy and you won't want to be there anymore.
That
So
is
my
a
plan
good
is to
point.
go out with a bang.
That's a hell of a bang, to say the least. So what's going on, brother? You've already
Yeah.
told about your
So what
podcast, man. Let people know a little bit about yourself for those who don't know about you. You grew up in a small town. Let them know where it's at.
Yeah, I grew up in a town outside of Little Rock here in Arkansas, and I grew up in a trailer park. You know, low rent, and with my grandma, and she was not a great person. So I got warped a lot as a child.
Whoa. Okay, hold up. Don't go too
Yeah.
far from that because you rarely hear people say, "How my grandmother wasn't a great person."
Oh
E-
yeah,
Explain that one. Elaborate on that one a little bit.
she's I wish I could explain it, man. Somewhere after her, graduating high school and meeting her first husband, who I'm assuming was an alcoholic and probably beat her. Uh,
Ah,
Dude, she turned and she just got really, really, aggressive, pimp style. That's how she handled it. She had a bunch of kids and he had a bunch of kids and they moved out to the middle of a farm and she basically ran like a slave camp with her children. And, it's crazy to hear my mom tell these stories, man, because this is like 1970s shit. My mom was born in 69. She'll be 50, I think, this year. So this is the 70s, man. There's hot rods and TV and Coca-Cola and a can. And these motherfuckers are living out in the middle of the woods,
wow.
having to fly teachers and shit in to teach them. Most of them didn't have, an eighth grade education. And then they moved from California to here. I don't know why. I don't know if the money ran out when they got to Arkansas or if there was a job or some shit, but then they bounced back and forth between here and there. I was born at some point in there, and my mom had me when she was very young. So my grandma took me away.
So what was that like growing up without your mom around?
It
From
is pretty, it's, I used to have a lot of resentment that unfortunately I was very abandonment issue kind of thing going on because I would see her occasionally, but like most parents do when they're in that situation, they kind of maybe they miss moments, opportunities, occasions to show up and to be there. And you think it's not that big of a deal, but it is. And I don't know. It was weird because my grandma was a very aggressive person, and so I had to get older to really understand it, to see how she really works. So now I'm in a position to where I can forgive my mom because I understand what she was dealing with, and yeah, man, I did that for you know 15 years, and then when I was 16, I got shot in the face, and that changed a lot of stuff. That brought my mom kind of back into the fold more. It kind of solidified me as an adult because I was dealing with a lot of adult shit at the time, fighting for your life and all, and surgeries and, rehabilitations and shit. And I spent a lot of holidays in the hospital. I spent a birthday in there, a couple Christmases. Like it's, was a long 2 years
Well,
from that.
well, I know you told the story on Almi's podcast. Shit happens when you party naked. But give a little synopsis of it for those who don't know the story, because it's a crazy story. That
Yeah, Reader's Digest version. If you'd like to hear the long one, go check out that episode.
yes.
Basically, when I was 16, I was at a hunting range, like a shooting where you go practice shooting. And my cousin laid his gun on the hood of his pickup truck as we were getting ready to leave. I got into the truck, shut the door. All of his shit shifted when I shut the door, and he tried to stop his shit from falling off the hood. He grabbed a hold of his gun, which was in the pile, and it went off. And I got shot through the fingers and in the jaw with a very high calibered hunting rifle.
And how long did it take for you to heal from that?
A total of 2 years altogether. You know, I had a three or four well, let's see, had two on my hand because like I had to have like a knuckle taken all the way out. My middle finger got shot off on my right hand, and I'm right-handed, so that posed some interesting situations for a couple years. You got to learn how to do some shit. I had to switch hit for a little while. I had to try to learn how to write left-handed, and that sucked. So I had to learn how to write right-handed with four fingers. I don't know. Like, so it probably would have been faster, but the first couple surgeries didn't work out great. Like I'm not saying my doctor was bad. There were just some underlying issues that I was having with like infections and stuff that they didn't find until later after I had had a couple reconstructive things done to my face. It just never healed up all the way. So it just kind of stayed infected for a year. And, yeah, then the guy figured it out. I got a full, bone graft surgery. They took from my lower leg, like around my your calf kind of area.
Yeah.
They stuck that in there, and the recoup on that was a minute. Like having bones taken from different parts of your body, it really put stress on you that you didn't realize that you put there. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have to say, out of all the surgeries I've had, having a bone graft taken out of my hip is probably the worst. So when you hear people complain about hip problems and shit like that, that's no joke, man. Like you don't realize how much of your movement is based on being able to swivel and move on your hip bones shits. So yeah, I've experienced a lot of pain and a lot of kind of crazy shit, and I enjoy sharing my stories with people and also hearing other people's. I feel like I'm a magnet for people like that. It's weird. Like I just happen upon folks and I hear them talk and tell their stories, and I go, "Hey man, let's talk." And sometimes I get good shit out of them, man. The Twitter is kind of like where it's my outlet for all the crazy shit that goes through my head and the crazy shit that I want to say or think. And I find people and then I bring them back to my lair. And my podcast is kind of like my journal. That's when I actually get to sit and talk to them and kind of figure out how they work. I've convinced a few kind of semi-famous people to come talk to me, a couple comedians, and Buff Bagwell once. That was really cool. I got some good stories out of him where he shot his dad one time and banging nitro girls. I've had some really interesting folks thus far, and I'm excited now because I just recorded my 100th episode the other day, and it's going to be
congratulations on that.
Yeah, man. It's weird because like nothing's really changing, but it's like I'm sure you just had it too. Congratulations to you, Delvin.
Thank you.
It's other people do it. It's not a big deal, but when you look at the numbers, it's kind of a big deal. Like a lot of shows don't make it that long, man. And at this point, I'm still having fun. I've found a way to make a little bit of money from it, and I'm paying the bill. So at this point, I would say I'm successful. I'm a successful podcaster. I'm not a professional, but if I can do something that I really enjoy and pay for it, so there's no bullshit, I don't have to worry about any cutting into my fucking finances. Great. Like I'm happy.
So let me ask you this. How do you think that whole situation, that everything you went through, affected and influenced the person that you are today?
Since we were talking about the religion thing earlier, kind of.
Yeah.
So what it did do for me, because I didn't see any lights, Delvin. I didn't see any, any magic tunnels or anything like that. Like I was bleeding. And in a moment, I feel like that's pretty damn close. And maybe if you got to go closer, I don't want to be that close. Like I don't want to find out how much worse. I was in a coma once for a week too, by the way. I don't know if I've ever told that on a podcast, but I was in a coma for Hurricane Katrina.
How did that happen? That's crazy.
So here's what's crazy. My final surgery was August 2005. And I remember it was a Tuesday, I'm pretty sure. Tuesday, I got up to go in for surgery, and I remember turning on the Weather Channel and just fucking, I'm getting dressed, putting on my socks and shit. And I saw Tropical Storm Katrina prepares to hit inland in New Orleans, area. And I was like, all right, cool. So I go in for surgery, right? I do all my pre-op shit. They draw the lines on me and all that shit. And they give me the drugs, count backwards from 10, standard procedure. I've done this 20 times, man. No big deal, right? The lights go out. The lights come back on. Delvin, it was like I took a nap. It was that fast, right? I wake up and I can't move my hands. This is weird. It's like POV, right? So you're looking out of your peripherals. You're laying in a hospital bed. You're looking at hospital tires. Go on a journey with me right now, Delvin Cox. You're laying in the bed and you look up at the ceiling. And you're like, okay, cool. This is standard. You start looking around. There's nobody in the room with you. And you go to move your hand to push the button to call the nurse to let them know you're awake. And your hands are strapped to the fucking rails of the bed. That's weird. Okay. And then you look down and you realize that there's a tube in your throat. And so now I'm in a situation where I'm like, this isn't good. I don't know if I've woken up in the middle of something. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I still in surgery? What's happening right now? So I kind of start kind of kicking and kind of shifting around and shit. And they finally hear me fucking around in there because I'm in like ICU or some shit like that. And they come in there and doctors start approaching me, and they're trying to restrain me, but they're all like, calm down, just settle down, everything, My mom comes in and she told me to this day, like it freaked her out real bad because like up until that point, I'd been pretty good with like, post surgery shit, all that. She said that when I came in there, I was purple, like my face, because what was happening was I had a ventilator in my throat. It regulates how much air you're getting, Here I am freaking out, basically I'm trying to breathe, and I'm breathing it's like breathing through a coffee straw. Basically, that's how much oxygen I'm getting compared to what I'm trying to take in. And they come in there, man, and the doctor pulls the shit out of my mouth. It's this long ass tube. Blech. I just start going, oh fuck, and I'm kind of like getting my shit. And now I'm pissed. But what I thought that they had cut, I have a tracheotomy scar, right? That was one of the worst parts about the whole initial first surgery is they cut my neck open. And so for like those first few days after the initial surgery, I couldn't talk. And it was really difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't really write left-handed and I couldn't speak. So it made it very hard. And I thought they had reopened that. So I got upset. That was the whole situation. I remember telling the doctor before, I was like, are you going to have to cut my neck open? And dude was like, not if we can help it. Okay. He said, I promise I'll really try hard not to. I was like, okay, cool. So I wake up with this thing on thinking that it's just that. They pull the shit out. Snap back to me in bed cursing at these fucking nurses for tying me up, and my mom's there and everything. And she was like, hey, calm down. I was like, calm down? What the hell is going on? And she was like, do you know what day it is? And I go, it's fucking Tuesday. She goes, it's Tuesday next week. And I was like, huh? And she goes, yeah, dude. Like, so you, during the surgery, like it was some kind of an artery or a vein or something that they put in. I came out of surgery, and somewhere in between, like going to the rest shit at post surgery, it broke. Like the shit, either the little tester box that was on it fucked up, or the thing actually came loose and broke. Whatever the fuck happened. Excuse me. they wheeled me back into surgery and they had to redo it. So I have a scar on my left inner leg where they took like a secondary piece of vein out. They redid that, and in order to make sure that that didn't happen again, they said we're gonna put him in a coma for this long. So yeah, man, I was asleep for a week, and it was like 1 second.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, definitely. Hold on 1 second, Jody, okay?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Delvin's got to get a box of tissues and a teddy bear.
Spoilers, I got to pee. Hold on 1 second. I am back.
Hey, buddy.
All right. Let's switch gears a little bit because I want to get to depression. You have a kid now.
Yeah.
What is it like being a father? How important it is for you to provide a better childhood than what you had?
It's very important. It's changed me a lot, Delvin. And, people say that. It just kind of is what it is. You won't get it until you do it. And I get that now. Like when I used to say, oh, we have a dog. That's kind of like having a kid. Shut up. You fucking asshole. Like, for real, I heard Joe Rogan say this on his show the other day, and it's a true statement. He said, it's crazy because, like, you will love your child more than you'll love anything else in the world. Or you should. Like, unfortunately, there's shitty people out there. But the point is, that's how that works. And he made a joke about how, like, if I go in the kitchen and there's two bananas, and one of them is, like, all black and grimy and gross, and one is perfect, he said, well, then I guess I'm going to be in the kitchen eating a crappy banana, if my kid says she wants that last banana because I love her that much. He said, now, if my wife wants that other banana, he was like, I'm going to walk in that kitchen and be like, oh, snooze, you lose. Somebody's eating a shitty banana, bitch. But it's true. Like, I love that kid, and it's crazy to think that with given the childhood I had, like I didn't start feeling feelings until about 12 years ago, and I'm not playing when I say that. It sounds weird, but I'm sure you can understand. You've probably met a few people in your life like that. I've run into plenty of other the same. Like, you get into a weird mode when you come up in that kind of an environment, and it's really strange to me now, being an adult who has been through those crazy shit incidents, having a child. And that's, to be honest with you, that fucks with me more. That messes with me more now, like having the kid to provide for and to be there for and to love and protect and all that stuff. And then making me think about how it wasn't given to me and how easy it could have been at the time. And that's upsetting sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just putting two and two together and realizing, like, oh, this is what was happening when I was this age. Like, I would never do that with him. That's crazy. So, it gives me a lot of perspective now as to what not to do and what I should be doing. And I think I'm doing okay. Like, I think I'm leaning more towards what I should be doing. I slip once in a while. My kid says motherfucker occasionally, but he's a sweetheart and he gives the best hugs, and I try not to spank him. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to go a different direction with this kid. And if it makes him soft, so what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll try to give him enough of the attention and self-confidence and stuff like that, what my job is, so that maybe he won't be a pansy. You know what I'm saying? He'll stand for something. But at the end of the day, I don't need another dickhead running around in the world with my name attached to it. I've seen too much of that. So shit, just being here is more than what I got. So I'm already giving him what I didn't have, and I try to give him all that other stuff. You know, that's people say you give your kids all the things you never had. I never had a father or, a stable environment or all this other stuff. So I'm trying to do that first and foremost. All the rest of the stuff, it'll be fine. I'll figure it out.
I'd be remiss to ask, what became of your cousin who shot you?
Oh, he's cool. He's got like 5 kids.
Did anything happen for him shooting you? Did he get in trouble for it or anything like that?
No. It was, it was an accident, man. It led for some awkward, family get-togethers. There were a couple years that I didn't really speak to him much, and his dad died like a couple years after that, and I think that really affected him. Like between those 2 years, that whole family kind of fell apart, man. And I'm not trying to be a bummer. I mean, they're okay now, or at least he is. But yeah, life happens, man. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna sit around and piss and moan about it? No, this is the only one you get. So even if you get dealt a crap hand, man, you gotta play your cards.
And I think that's what's awesome about you, because you kind of got dealt several crap hands. You made the best out of them.
Let me tell you this. I've thought about this a lot, and maybe I'm pulling my own chain. I don't care. If you were to take a fire, Delvin, a campfire, right, and you took a bucket full of shit, and you dumped a bucket full of shit on a fire, you would probably put it out, right? It's kind of how that works. You throw all that mess onto even a hot fire, and it probably put out the fire if you dump it all at once. But if you take one turd at a time and you throw it into a fire, the turd will burn and it'll move on. You throw another one, then you put another one in there, then another one, then another one, and then eventually your fire is powered by turds. Do you understand? Like,
yes.
There was a point where I'm fine with it. And, now having kind of reformed of all my dastardly ways, I'm like, I'm capable of anything. I know that. I'm trying to do my best to do this. But I thrive off of like negativity, and that sucks. So I'm trying to have to balance that. And now, I think I found a good one. I say crazy shit sometimes. I do it in private messages, mostly for the really crazy shit, but not all the times, Delvin. You understand?
Yes. How hard is it to balance that light and darkness in you? Because I can tell that you deal with that often.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not like I hear a voice in my head or anything. It's not that kind of crazy. But sometimes just the shit that I see, like, I wish death on people all the time. It's crazy. I'll be driving, some dickhead will be walking on the side of the freeway, and I'm just like, in traffic, some dude on a motorcycle, hit him with my car door and run him off a goddamn cliff. Anyway, yeah, prison helps. Like, the idea of prison scares me a lot. I had an uncle that did like 15 years. And we got to go visit him a few times, and then combine that with I've been arrested and I watched a shitload of lockup. I don't want to go to prison. That sounds terrible. So I don't want to murder anybody because I don't want to go to prison.
Yeah, that's that goes without saying. Prison sucks, to say the least.
That's really what keeps me out of all the trouble, Delvin. To be honest with you, it's not even so much police. It's just the odd chance that I would end up in prison. That would really bum me out, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially for a long time. Like, even a couple years would suck, but like, dude, if you got hit with like 20 years in prison, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, just for something,
would suck.
For something stupid. You fucking get into a fist fight with some asshole outside of a bar because he slapped your old lady on the tit. You go outside, you punch him in his head, and he falls off the thing, and he hits his head on the concrete. Bam! Manslaughter. But you were yelling before. So now it's aggravated manslaughter. You get 20 years. That would suck.
Yeah, to say the least, that was definitely suck.
So I try to avoid any of those kind of things. As an adult man now, I like to look at, I feel like an old man. That's what it is. I'm wise. I don't get mixed up in bullshit. That's what I do.
And I think your kid helps with that.
Definitely. It makes you think a lot more about what you do and the people you do it with, which is good, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have kids, Delvin?
I have 2.
Woo!
Boy and a girl.
Bless your heart.
My son
You
is
look
13.
tired. That's what I'm saying. I can see it in your face.
Well, I'll give you a small spoiler. Well, I can talk about this now. I was a couple of days ago, I was very, very sick.
Yeah.
And I had to go to the hospital. Feeling better now. But, this is the funny part.
You're pregnant.
Even funnier. You know how people are full of shit sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
I literally was full of shit.
Oh, man. You got all backed up, huh?
Yeah, to the point where they were like, yeah, you need to take this medicine. They gave me this big old thing of medicine to take.
Yeah, and it worked?
Still working now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
you can shit through a screen door and not touch a wire. That's beautiful.
Yeah, man. I was really sick, though. Like, I was having, I'm still having them now, but not as bad. Like, massive stomach pains. Like,
see, I never had that, man. That's crazy. My wife got it when she was pregnant. When we were in the week she found out she was pregnant, that first the symptoms set in, she didn't really get morning sickness, but she couldn't take a dump for like 3 fucking days. We were in New Orleans.
Yeah, and I was taking dumps, but not enough. And they were like, "Yeah, you're really backed up," to the point like they say it caused like a ulcer in my stomach and everything.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm glad they got it worked out because for real, they would have had to go in there the hard way. At least you didn't go fucking Whitney Houston. You weren't in there with like a butter knife or anything trying to stir it up.
No, I didn't do that at all.
Yeah. It's no bueno. Dude, did you, since we're talking about shit anyway, Delvin, I want to do a PSA right now. I don't know what happened at my office yesterday, but I went in the bathroom to take a piss. I go up to the urinal, right? Just the wall toilet. I do my thing. And as I'm going to walk out, because it's automatic flush, I ain't even got to worry about it. So I go to turn, and I just happen to look over at the toilet as I'm walking out. And it looks like there's poo in the toilet. And I was like, oh, man. Because I'm the kind of guy, I hate that. Like, it chaps my ass, man. But I'm also not a heathen. So if I see it, I'm going to try to flush it. That's just how it works. I'm a gentleman like that. I walk over there, and somebody had shitted it in the toilet. Delvin, there was not one square of toilet paper in that toilet.
Oh.
And this was not a log. This was several little floaty, like pond scum pieces of poo floating on top of the water. And there was not a piece of paper on top or a piece of paper on bottom.
That is my pet peeve. Everything about that is my pet peeve.
Yeah, well, wipe my ass. That's pet peeve number 1, I think.
Yeah.
Some dude made a joke. He said, did you check the trash can for socks? You find the dude with one sock, you'll find your culprit. And I said, I really hope so, because that's nasty. I don't know if he wiped his ass with his hand. Maybe. We get some truck drivers in there. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just stating fact. Yeah, I don't know. It freaked me out a little, though. Like, I almost walked out of my office and threw a fit. And just started talking shit to everybody. Hey, I don't know which one of you fucking animals used the bathroom in here.
I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah.
Because I used to work next door to a Starbucks. I used to work in a restaurant called Einstein Bagels. This was a long time ago, like close to 20 years ago. And we shared bathrooms with them.
Ooh.
And occasionally, it was in a nice area. It was Coral Gables, which is a fancy area in South Florida. And occasionally, a bum would go in the bathrooms and smear poop all over the bathrooms.
Just because he's bored, I guess?
Yes.
Nice.
And what would end up happening was that Starbucks has a policy against
wiping shit on walls?
Yes. They would literally call a hazmat team to come out there to clean it.
I mean, it's cool that they clean it, but like, does it just shut down the bathrooms for the whole day
Yes.
or something? Because they got to
Yes.
save it up. Yeah.
Shut it down like police tape everywhere, and you see like the hazmat suit like looking like almost like a cartoon. Now you see the hazmat suits in cartoons and stuff.
Like fucking E.T.
Yes,
standing
exactly.
down Dookie off a wall with a pressure washer, scrubbing it.
It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. These guys coming in these yellow suits, going to bed like this is what they do.
Dog, I went to a Walmart neighborhood market here one time. This is years ago, so man, hopefully they got a new staff. But I went in there and so walked in the bathroom. I don't touch the doors usually. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't have to, I usually will take my boot and I'll push the door open with it. And I go to do that, and there's like blood on the door. Not a lot, but like just a little droplet kind of on the thing and kind of dripping down on the door handle area. And I was like, oh, that ain't good. So I kick the door open, I look inside, and there's a trail of it. Then it goes to the sink. And then it goes to the urinal, and then back to the sink. And then inside the wall, right there under the paper towel dispenser, is like a handprint, like half a handprint, 2 fingers and like a palm. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that ain't good. Like somebody got hurt. Maybe hit him with a box cutter. You know what I'm saying? So just somebody got themselves good. You got gigged. And I told the manager. Well, I took a piss and I walked out there and I was just like, hey, like there's blood everywhere in there. So, and they were like, yeah, we better get that cleaned up. It's not an interesting story as far as that goes. What's crazy is like 3 days later, I went back to Walmart neighborhood market to buy some shit. And I went in the bathroom to take a piss. And the half 2 finger palm blood handprint was still on the wall under the paper towel holder. And then I didn't go back to that Walmart neighborhood market for a while.
I don't blame you at all.
Somebody's not doing their job all the way.
Yeah, to say the least.
Don't deal with fluids. It's not okay.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to end it right there. That story alone.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This has been awesome, Jody.
Yeah, it went by quick, man. I forget. You're very punctual. You get in and get out. I like that.
Yeah, man. Got to keep it short but sweet so people can come back.
That's right. Well, hey, let me know when you quit recording. I want to tell you something cool.
All right, definitely.
Yeah.
As always. Let everybody know where to find your stuff at before we go.
Yeah, okay. So just Google me, motherfucker. No. If you'd like to find the show, Po Boys Podcast, you can Google that. I should be the only one out there. Or if you want to find other appearances, I've been all over, man. I am a podcast whore. So, Jodie B, Jodieb, and podcast. You do that, you find all kinds of stuff in there, man. I get around, and I've made some really cool friends, and I've met some really cool people on the way. So, if you'd like to hear more of my crazy antics, plus some cool people I've met, go do that. At Po Boy Pod on Twitter, at Jodie B501.
And definitely go check out that episode with him on Shit Happens When You Party Naked.
Yes.
It's a really good episode.
My giant lover, Jason Alme. He's a great guy, man. He's going to be a dad soon, Delvin.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's going to be a great dad, man. He's a good dude.
It's crazy.
Definitely. As always, Delvin Cox Experience, we are out. Peace. Stop.